You're listening to Middle East expert and keynote speaker Neil Lazarus, live from Jerusalem.
Hi, Neil Lazarus here, and I just wanted to let you know about an article that came out recently on Associated Press together with the University of Chicago. Go Google it. It is the most fascinating thing I've seen for a long time. The article is called "Few Hold Strong Opinions About the Ongoing Conflict Between Israel and Palestinians," and I wanted to discuss it with you and see what your thoughts are. Came out on September the 18th, 2023. Like I said, the Associated Press, together with the University of Chicago, produced this and are responsible for the results. So we're looking at this again for educational purposes. What the article effectively says is that the public in America views Israel as more of a friend than a foe. So what we've known in the past is, despite everything, despite the call for that there's anti-Semitism, of which there is, and that there's rising anti-Semitism in America, that we know, that still the majority of Americans see Israel as a foe. What I think is the most interesting thing that came out of this report was they were divided over whether Israel is a country with the United States that has common interests and values. In other words, for many years, we've been promoting Israel, talking about Israel to American audiences, saying that there are shared values, common beliefs. We're a liberal country. We have democratic values, etc. Given the struggle to maintain democracy in Israel, to maintain liberal values regarding women and the LGBTQ plus community, many people feeling that we are shifting away from that, and I think that is going to be important. The report also said, quote, "Most adults do not sympathize with one side over the other in the dispute between the Israelis and the Palestinians, and less than half have an opinion, either positive or negative, about creating an independent Palestinian state." In other words, we talk about Israel, we talk about the Palestinian issue. The reality is that the majority of Americans don't care. The article goes on to say that about 4 in 10 say that the United States is providing the current amount of support to the Israelis, and nearly the same number also regard the level of US support for Palestinians as appropriate. So in layman's terms, the majority of people don't really care. They think that Israel is a friend, not an ally, doesn't have, or increasingly doesn't have shared values, and the amount of aid that's going is more or less right. Like I said, grab a hold of this report, because if you're interested in Israel in any manner or form, I think it is fascinating to see. 33% of adults, according to this poll that came out by Associated Press, 33% of these adults describe Israel as a partner that the United States should cooperate with, but say the country does not share the US interests and values. Now, that's increasingly important also within the realm of the Democrats. In fact, if you look at this apnorc.org research, you will see how it is divided amongst Democrats and Republicans. So when asked the question, do you see Israel as a partner or ally than a rival or adversary? When asked, do you agree with the following statement? America is an ally that shares US interests and values. 32% agreed with it altogether. The majority, nearly double Republicans than they did Democrats. So again, the Democratic support for Israel, I think, is a weak link, and I've said that for a number of years. It also said, to the question, a partner that the US should cooperate with, but doesn't share its interests. Here, the Democrats, 53% say, yes, we should cooperate with it. And Republicans are less. Go figure that one out. So again, minimal numbers when asked the question, is Israel an adversary that the US is in conflict with? Like, you're looking at overall 7% of all Americans asked. Just to give you some of the numbers, this is a poll, like I said, conducted by APNORC, It was conducted on the 10th to the 14th of August 2023 with 1,165 adults nationwide. Now, before anyone says to me, hold on, there's only not even over 2,000 people asked, I remind you that polls can be accurate. It's probably around 5 to 6% out. And that's how polls are done. It's not that you need to go and measure a lot of people. You need a representative sample. When we look at the question, in the dispute between the Palestinians and the Israelis, which side do you sympathize with, more Israelis or the Palestinians, or equally? Overall, Republicans at 41% supported Israelis more. Democrats were supporting the Palestinians more. Overall, when it says both equally, Democrats was 34%. So again, I think it's not madly crazy. On which side do you sympathize, Israel or the Palestinians? The option of neither. You've got overall 37, Democrats 39, Republicans 31. So again, fascinating poll. What are the conclusions we can say about this? What are the tactics that Israeli public relations should be making? It's not clear. What I do think is that the risk of losing American support with such a right-wing religious fundamentalist government that we're seeing at the moment, with the likes of Smotrich and Ben Gvir in particular, in a government which Netanyahu seems to be the most moderate, is endangering one of the basic elements of the connection between Israel and America, which is joint values. Do you favor or not the creation of an independent state? Neither favor nor oppose, overall 58%. In other words, it's that I don't know, don't care factor. Strongly favor 22% and 15% oppose. Again, majority of Americans don't know, don't care, but maybe have an opinion. Last poll on this fascinating research piece, which I wanted to discuss, share with you, get your thoughts, is as follows. More of the public believes the US is providing the right amount of support to Israel and the Palestinians than too much or too little. And what you see there is the majority are 100%, both 44% for Israelis and 42% for Palestinians. The American government believes that the aid is coming. The American aid is just about right. So that gives you a sense of where today America it stands vis-a-vis the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Like I said, look up this article, amazing article. I'll try and put a link into it with this podcast. But if you're searching for it, Associated Press, NORC at the University of Chicago, and the headline title is "Few Hold Strong Opinions About the Ongoing Conflict Between Israel and the Palestinians." This is Neil Lazarus. I hope you enjoyed the podcast.